Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Long time no see. I've been gone for a little over a year because of some medical reasons that I'm going to explain later in this video. So stick around and see why I've been gone. Okay, so I'm going to explain everything of why I've been gone for over a year. So to start off, this started around 6 years ago. One morning I woke up and I was just in so much pain. I honestly could not deal with it. It was excruciating pain. It was mainly like right here in the right upper side of my abdomen. At first, I thought it was appendicitis. So I went to the emergency room, had all kinds of tests ran, and it came back negative for the appendicitis check. So they sent me home, and I had to follow up with my family doctor. So I called and made an appointment with my family doctor, and I went and seen him. He proceeded to run more tests on me because he still didn't like the fact that they said that my appendicitis test came back negative. He wanted to go more in depth in it. So we did that, and test after test after blood test after blood test, all my tests came back negative. All my levels were good and everything. So he diagnosed me with a upper pulled stomach muscle, pretty much, is basically what he said. And I had to take it easy for 6 to 8 weeks because of him diagnosed me with a pulled muscle. Since it was in the abdomen, stomach region, he wanted to give it extra time to basically heal because there was nothing that we could do, no surgery, no nothing to fix it. It was pretty much, it had to be fixed on its own. So 4 to 6 weeks was really boring. I mean, I could not do no physical activity, hardly any. At that time, I was a freshman in high school when this happened, when he diagnosed me with a pulled stomach muscle. So that means I was out of gym for 6 to 8 weeks. I was out of any physical activity for 4 to 6 weeks. I was limited on how much weight I could pick up for 4 to 6 weeks. And at that time, he told me I could not pick up anything or lift anything over the poundage of a gallon of milk. That was it. So I could only lift a gallon of milk for 4 to 6 weeks. And that was basically my physical activity because I couldn't pick nothing up, which was really difficult because, like I said, I wasn't a freshman in high school, so I carried around a backpack all the time, which weighed definitely more than a gallon of milk. But hey, I kind of suffered through it because I had no choice. I wasn't able to, physical activity-wise, I was not able to climb stairs, which was quite a few in my school, so I had to take the elevator. So fast forward to that 8 weeks, I went back to the doctor. My pain had subsided at the time. I didn't have no more pain in that general region that I was having. So he cleared me to go back to ease back into physical activity, to basically go back to my normal life. And I was good for probably 6 months. And I had another episode, that's what I call them, or episodes, in the same region, upper right quadrant of my abdomen. I didn't do nothing in that time because I thought, I've overdone it. because I did do some heavy lifting at that time. So I just thought, oh, I've overdone it. It's no big deal. I gave it a couple of days, rested up. My pain subsided. So I thought, okay, I just re-pulled that muscle. Need to take it easy. And fast forward again to probably almost a year. I had the pain again, but it wasn't as strong this time. It was more just like an achy feeling. But this time, my back really hurt. My mid to lower back pretty much killed me when this happened. That was mainly the source of my pain. It wasn't really up. I could still feel a little bit in my upper right quadrant of my abdomen, but that wasn't my main pain. My main pain was in my lower back. So I actually had one of my nieces come over and basically walk on my back, just to kind of massage it. My mother did the same thing, she massaged it out, and I could feel a few knots in there, so I thought, okay, I just tweaked my back, no big deal, and that was what was causing my pain, because I just tweaked my back. I was like, no big deal, laid on the heating pad, got it taken care of, and that pain subsided again, pretty much like it always does. And then, so we'll fast forward. I dealt with that kind of pain for the next 2 to 3 years of that kind of pain, just the back aches every once in a while, a little pain in the upper right quadrant, no big deal. So now we're at year 4 is where we're at now. One night I woke up or I was laying in bed actually, and I hadn't fallen asleep yet, and all of a sudden I just got this excruciating pain again. I mean, this time it was like 10 times worse than the first time. And saying that, you're all probably thinking, yeah, okay, I'm a pansy, and I probably am, I truly am, but, I mean, this pain was horrible. I mean, it was horrid. I couldn't sit, I couldn't lay, I was basically uncomfortable in any position I was put in. About the only position I was comfortable in was the fetal position, and so I stayed in that, thinking maybe the pain would subside. It didn't. I proceeded to go and get our heating pad that we have, to see if that would help. It didn't help. I laid on it for probably 20-ish minutes. It didn't help. So I eventually went and told my mom what was going on, what pain I was having again, and so she took me to the emergency room, and they came in, did their assessment. Excuse me. They did their assessment and did some blood work, and they told me that they were going to do a CT scan. Now, at this time, I was probably, let's see, I was 17 at the time, because I'm 20 now, so yeah, I was around 17 when this happened. For a 17-year-old, I have had 3 surgeries before then. Never have I ever been in a CT machine, so that was a little concerning for me. But I was like, hey, I need the test, suck it up, and we did the test. And so, went and done the test, had blood work done, and the doctor I had came back and told me that my amylase and lipase enzymes were up in my blood work. And that was one reason he ordered the CT scan. And of course, even though I was in some medical classes in high school, I didn't know enough about everything to know what those meant. So I asked him, what do those do? And amylase and lipase are 2 enzymes that your pancreas produces. That is very vital to it. It helps keep your sugar in check, your insulin that your pancreas produces in check. It's the armor fortress to your pancreas, or what those 2 enzymes are. So he said it looked like I had signs of pancreatitis. But he did not officially diagnose me with that. He just said, look out for it. And he wasn't going to diagnose me as having pancreatitis. So he gave me some nausea medicine and some pain medication. Of course, I didn't take the pain medication because I'm not a fan of taking it. So I went home, rested. It's pretty much what he told me to do. Drink lots of water, watch my diet and all that, which I already do, or did. And so fast forward another 6 months, and I had the same problem, same pain, same back trouble I was having. Nothing was helping. So we go back to the ER, trying to find more answers about this, and had a different doctor. The different doctor did the same test, same blood test, ran a CT scan, and came back that my amylase and lipase were again elevated. He also said it was signs of pancreatitis, but still did not diagnose me with it. He went ahead and gave me the same nausea medicine and same pain medication that the previous doctor had put me on. Again, I did not take the pain medication. Came home, rested, took the nausea medicine because I did feel nauseated. I did not want to eat. And it subsided in a couple days, maybe a week at the most. And then 3 months later, I was back in the ER for the same thing. And this time I had the same doctor that I had previously 3 months ago in the ER. So he did the same thing. Again, it's the same cycle that I had been through the past year and a half, or 2 years actually by this point. And this time he came back and told me the same thing. My amylase and lipase were up, none of which he did anything about. So I basically dealt with the pain up until a year and a half ago. I had the same pain, only this time it was the worst it had ever been. I was drawled over. I couldn't walk. I could not stand. I could not sit. I could not lay. It was so bad. I couldn't stand it. I was in tears by this point. I had been achy all day, and by time nighttime, after I ate supper, it became more horrendous for me. I was rolling around in a ball in my bed on the heating pad. It was not using up by any means. My mom had rubbed my back, trying to soothe it, and it was not helping at all. So my dad ends up taking me back to the ER because my mom was unable to. So we get to the ER. They rush me immediately back, and the doctor that I had is a wonderful doctor. He is actually the one who officially diagnosed me with pancreatitis, because again, he did the blood test, and my enzymes of my pancreas, the amylase and lipase, were extremely elevated, almost 3 times of what they're supposed to be. And so he did another CT, and it showed that I had pancreatitis. So he officially diagnosed me with it. But this time he called in a gastroenterologist because with pancreatitis there are mainly 2 causes. Like the 2 biggest causes are alcoholism and gallstones in your gallbladder. And I'm not an alcoholic, so that threw that one straight out the door. So our next thing was to look for gallstones in my gallbladder. Now, mind you, the past 5 years, I've been trying to tell them to look at my gallbladder because my mother and my mom's mom, my grandmother, both had gallstones, and both gallbladders have been taken out. And it also ran on my father's side, along with pancreas issues, so I was like really wanting to know. And so they did what they called an outpatient admission. So I was still in the hospital, but I wasn't like contained there. Like I could basically, I told them when I wanted to leave, because I was in the hospital at that time. After when I went to the ER, altogether I was in the hospital for 18 hours. So they had taken me up to the fourth floor, and the gastroenterologist came in because when the ER doctor did the CT scan, he could not see any gallstones. So that kind of put us in the picture of the gallstones could be micro, which are like, gallstones are little anyway, so that means like they were like really tiny and you couldn't see them on the CT. So when the gastroenterologist came in, he took an ultrasound of my side, or well, his ultrasound tech did, and she wouldn't tell me nothing because rules, I guess, that they have. But from what I could see on the ultrasound, I didn't see anything, and that was the case. He came back in and said that it came back negative because he didn't see anything. So I basically told him that I wanted out of the hospital, and so I left around 7:30 that evening, and this was like April 4th, 2019, I want to say. And I had to do a follow-up with my family doctor. So I went and I seen my family doctor, and she wanted to run a test called a HIDA scan. And what this HIDA scan does is you are injected with a dye that goes straight to your gallbladder, and you're put in a machine almost identical to a CT machine, but it's not the same, but it is in a way, if that makes sense. So I went and had this test done. I had to lay flat and not move for an hour and a half while this machine was taking pictures and videos and all that. And after an hour and a half, the technician comes in and says that my gallbladders hadn't accepted the dye yet. So I had to go out in the waiting room with an IV still in my arm and wait an hour to see if it did accept it. After this hour, I went back in to the procedure room that I was in, and she started the scan again, and it still had not accepted it a little, but not fully. So she went and talked to the doctor, or the radiologist that would be reading my scan, and that doctor gave her the okay to proceed. So she injects me with this solution that makes your gallbladder contract like you've ate, so it can process it. And what this does is it shows the percentage of what your gallbladder is working. So when I got the results of this scan, they came back positive, which means I had a low infraction level, which also means that my gallbladder was working less than 50%. Now, I had this test done probably 4 years ago when this all kind of started, when I first got told I had pancreatitis, and it came back negative, and this time it came back positive. So they told me that my gallbladder was working less than 50%, and that's what the test meant. So I went back to the family doctor, and she told me, sorry, my dog is moving. Stop, bub. My doctor told me that I needed to go see a surgeon. So I went and seen a local surgeon, general surgeon actually, who is very wonderful. So I went and met with him, and he came in and presented my case to me and gave me two options. It was either he had enough, what they call evidence, over the 6 years to take my gallbladder out, or we would continuously watch it until it was not working anymore. It was at 0% of working. And I was like, if you have enough, evidence to support it and you can remove it now, let's just go ahead and remove it, because I'm going to have to get it removed anyway, because it's not going to jump from 35% that it was working to back to 75. It just can't. So we went ahead and scheduled my surgery. My surgery was for May 20th of 2019. So we went in, or I did. I went in, was in pre-op. My surgeon came in, make sure everything was fine. And we went back and had my surgery done. My surgery took less than 30 minutes. I had it done like laparoscopic. He did it what I call like the old-fashioned way. He didn't use a robot or anything. He actually did it by hand, the laparoscopic way. And so I have 4 scars. I'm not going to show you, but I will tell you. I have 1 over here, and then I have 2 right here, and then I have 1 in my belly button. And after the surgery, I was in recovery for about an hour, and then I went back to my official recovery room and waited to be released. And so since then, since my surgery, the bad thing is about my surgery is a week after I had my surgery, I got bronchitis. And what that was from is my bronchitis just kind of stays dormant because I've had it before. So with me having the tube down my throat to be able to breathe during surgery, caused my lungs and trachea and everything to get irritated and caused my bronchitis to act up. So I had bronchitis along with recovering from surgery. And so 2 weeks after I had my surgery, I went back and seen my surgeon, and he said I was doing good. I could go back to very light activity. And during this time, I had finished my 2nd semester of college. So it was now my summer break for college, which was good. I didn't have to deal with college and recovering from surgery. So I'm still recovering from that in a way, because with gallbladder surgery, your body doesn't get back to its full momentum until about a year after. So I've been trying to get my digestion back to the way it was. It will never be normal. Just trying to get my body back up to the strength that it was, because that surgery did take a toll on me, just because I had surgery and then I got bronchitis right after it. So that was tough. So that's pretty much my whole past 6 years, and finally having the surgery that I've needed for basically 6 years. And that's the reason I've been gone for over a year, because of this, because I had surgery, and because I was recovering. So I hate, like I said, in just about every video I make, I hate being gone from you guys. I really do, because you guys are my family, and I love you all my viewers, all my subscribers. I love you all, and thank you for being here with me, and help me start my YouTube channel, and even for watching my videos, for just becoming, just starting YouTube. I don't have many videos, but I've been on YouTube for, like I said, almost 2 years now. It'll be going on 2 years later this year. So I'm trying to start 2020 strong, and even though we're almost out of January, but we're going to start 2020 strong, and hopefully I'm going to continue making videos for you guys, because I really want to. So I want to thank you all for being here and for supporting me and supporting my channel, helping it grow as much as we can, and thank you for being here with me. I mean, I really, genuinely, truly want to thank everybody for viewing my videos, for subscribing, just for being here to listen, and I will see you in the next video.